Say, look, you got one job to do, Dad. You know, you're going to work at the factory all day, and then you think you can pull over and stop at the club, cash your check, have a couple of drinks. No, man, you got one job. What's that?
Come home.
Come home.
I am a man of honor, integrity, and promise. I pursue all righteousness. I love my family. I will not put my family in harm's way. There is nothing that will keep me from doing the right thing. I am an ambassador of hope and a man of discipline. I am a man worth following. I am a Tyro.
Welcome to Tyro TV. I'm Ron Tijerina, and today I am surrounded by such great men of honor, great men of good character, some Tyro men. And I'm just going to quickly introduce to you who we have. We have Nathan, we have Toby, we got Dion, we got Dan, and we got Chris in the house. And I am thrilled and excited to. This is our first time ever doing this where we had this many Tyros at one time. And I just want to have a conversation. We want to help the people that are watching this. There's men and women in prisons across the United States who are going to watch this show, right? And we want to be able to give them something that's going to empower them, impact them to get to the next level in their life. So let's open it up. Here's the first question, guys. What's it like being free? Anybody, just jump in.
It's a feeling that I can't even explain. I can't even explain it.
Can't explain it. How much time did you do,
I did
Toby?
28 years.
Tell us a little bit about yourself real quick.
So I'm Toby Brown. I'm from Akron, Ohio. But I did so much time in prison that I'm just far away from just that being put in that place because I'm a Tyro. And this is what I represent. I met Ron, let me see, in 2008. And I wasn't really taking it serious, but I met him. And I was inspired from that point because I seen the powerful things he was doing. So for me, that was an eye-opener right there. And from that point on, I just knew that I had to find something better. You know what I'm saying? So with that little inspiration, I started changing the way I thought, the way I was thinking.
All right.
And I just wanted something better, you know. And I'm here and
living proof.
Yeah,
living color.
And look where we at.
All right.
Exactly.
So Nathan, let's go with you. Tell us a little bit about your name and what.
I'm Nate Florick. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. I got caught up in some stuff. Ended up going to prison. Started doing programs in there and trying to better myself. And then I guess I was scamming because I was really doing stuff on the side too in there, doing the same things that got me in there. And I ended up getting in trouble and going to a level 3 Mansfield. And because of my charges and stuff, they sent me to like a gang unit because of the RICOs. And I woke up, God found me in the bottom of in a cell in 2D, too dangerous. And ever since I turned my life over to God, things have been just falling in place. And I'm just so much happier. And I had everything before I went to prison, and it wasn't happy. I was chasing money, women, power, playing games. And and now that I'm out and free, I don't have much, but I'm humbled, and I respect my life a lot more, and I appreciate it, and I live for the Lord.
There you go.
That's where He found me.
Thank you.
I never found Him. He wasn't lost.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Nathan. Dion, we'll go with you, man. Tell us a little bit quickly about yourself.
So, my name's Dion Evans. I'm definitely a Tyro. I just did 18 years in prison for 2 burglaries with no one in the houses. And being free physically and mentally it's just amazing. To put words, man, there's so many of them I could use to encapsulate how I feel every day that I wake up and I'm able to go outside, or waking up on Christmas Day at my own house and looking up. I had heat, electric, hot water, and I was free.
Yeah.
And tears came. I didn't get, I got a pair of headphones for Christmas. But to go without 18 Christmases and to do it out here free, mentally not high, drunk, and not physically in a prison, woo,
Yeah.
it's just been an amazing journey,
That's
man.
good
I've been
stuff.
home 5 months. I left the halfway house, and God is just an amazing leader in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
That's a
and
good
I'm
word.
just honestly trying to live life 1 second at a time, not in a rush to hurry up and get back what I lost, because I didn't lose nothing but a child. Now I'm an adult, being grateful for the grass, the rocks, the car I drive, the job I have,
Yeah.
the people that God keep putting in my life.
That's good word.
You know?
That's good word, Dion. Over here we got Chris Sarton, physique, body fit. Tell us about yourself real quick, Chris.
As Ron said, my name's Christopher Sarton. I'm 35 years old. I was released September 30th from doing 19 years of incarceration for committing a murder when I was 16 years old. I was hanging with the wrong crowd. I had a lot of bad things that was going on in my life, and mentally and emotionally, I was in disarray. And I started following people that I had no business following when I was a natural born leader. Always been that way. Just to put it into words and getting to see these other men, Toby, Nathan, me being the first one being in the Tyro transitional house, to put into words being free, it's confirmation, it's affirmation, it's motivation, and it's a new hope to be able to experience this side of the fence as a grown man, being responsible, holding each other accountable, being able to lend my experience re-entering society to the next man behind me to help them get further than I did quicker. And just seeing that, it's just such an amazing journey that I've been able to be a part of with the Ridge, with Tyro. And I'm just looking forward to continuing the journey. And also, Tyro has been such a part of my life for so long, me facilitating inside the institutions and being the TAC president, Tyro Alumni Community president, and doing things on the inside. Tyro gave me that chance. That was my first job when I got out. And they hired me, and it's just like a lifelong commitment now.
So are you facilitating now?
I actually, I facilitate on via Zoom over in California. They had a facilitator who got another job. They was in a crisis because this was put into their grant, so they had to teach it. And I was just hired and was put in the role of teaching what I was doing for 6 years inside the institutions already.
So you're teaching here in Ohio to men in California,
Yes.
Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. We over here on my right, we have Mr. Dan Williams. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Dan.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, Dan the man. That's what they call me.
Dan the man, the legend, the man.
I love it. I love it. Obviously, like everyone else here, formerly just known as inmate, right? 587-408. The time that I used to promote was the time of incarceration, but the time that I promote now is the amount that I've been home. It'll be 13 years next week.
Ooh, yeah.
I've been home. Yeah. And so, it's definitely it's been the journey. You go through all of the various stages. It's like being a child all over again, right? You learn. So you got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. And so I did the crawl of crawling as a new man, the new creature, which God is at the center of my transformation, 100%. I was able to crawl and began to walk, and I'm thankful because when it was time to run, I had men that were worth following, and that's one of the mantras of Tyro, is being a man worth following. And so to be able to have examples, that was so key, to have examples of how to turn my mess into my message, and to really be able to translate the things that I have been to in the language we use in Tyro is going from being the poison to the antidote. And so knowing that I had sown poison, I had spewed poison, I had poisoned family and friends and community, and to have examples of men that had taken that same stance of I was a poison and now I'm the antidote. And this is how you get to live out your experiences. You get to not be defined by your past, but you can utilize it for your future. And I love the opportunity that I have with the Ridge Project, and I love the opportunity that I have just being connected to men that have gone before me. And now 13 years later, I get to be the one, like Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ.
Yeah.
And so to be able to still work with men, including the men at the table, but also the men on the inside, to be able to go back in and be a representation. I tell them I'm a representation of what's possible.
Yeah.
And so to now be a part of that fabric, that story, to be able to be a part of, hey man, we're out here living. We made some mistakes. We definitely did some things that we're not necessarily proud of, but we're proud of the fact that we've learned from it.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, good
definitely
work.
excited to be here. Definitely excited to be on that path. I am a man worth following.
Amen. Amen. I served 15 years, but I've been home 18 years. I've been married 38 years. And these are milestones in our lives. And when I think about freedom, how bad do we want it? You got to be hungry and humble, right? The double H. How bad do you want success? How bad do you want to not be that lame that people will see you? People don't know I served 15 years until I tell them. Because we don't walk, talk, smell like penitentiary. When you come to understand what does freedom feel like, and how bad you want to hold on to that, nourish it, protect it, right? I share a story, and I'll be real brief with this story, where this young man wanted wisdom. So he wanted to find the oldest man he could find to help him understand and acquire wisdom. And he found him a sage. And he told the old man, give me wisdom. And the old man ignored him. And this went on for weeks and weeks, where the old man would ignore him. And every day he'd come back to him, and every day, give me wisdom. Then finally one day, the old man spoke back to him. What do you want? Man, I've been telling you for the last 3 months how bad I wanted wisdom. As he said, come with me. So he took the young man and they walked into this river. He said, come on in here with me. So they walked into the river together. And before the young man could even respond to it, he grabbed him by the back of the head, grabbed him by the neck, and put his head in the water and held him there. And the young man's fighting to try to get free. He's grasping for something, right? He's grasping for something. Finally, the old man lets him up. He said, what did you want? What do you mean? What do you mean what I wanted? What did you want when you were down there? Did you want women? Did you want fame? Did you want money? And he said, no, I didn't want none of that. Well, what did you want? I wanted air. He said, well, when you want wisdom as bad as you wanted that air, come back and see me. And that's where freedom means to us. When you understand that, it's a matter of life and death. Because we have set a standard as Tyro men for those people who come behind us to uphold, to admire, to respect, and all these attributes that are now flowing through you into your children. Because I'm a dad, you're a dad, I'm a grandparent, right? And I look at you guys, and the potential that's on this table right now is mighty. Talk about casting a mountain from one place and putting it in the sea, speaking things into existence. That's what you guys represent to me. That type of freedom. No longer bogged down with the cares of the world and tripped up with alcoholism, drug addiction, pornography, but focused on what's greater. Right? That's when I think about freedom, free of all that mess. Now, I always say this, opportunity only knocks on the door once, and temptation leans on the doorbell. That's why we hold each other accountable. So we can understand that, hey, when that temptation comes, we got somebody to turn to so we don't fall victim of our own devices, right? Next question, guys. Somebody tell me something that they started practicing that has really empowered them to get to the next level. What did you practice? What is it? Give me a discipline.
Affirmations.
Affirmation.
I say every day, 7 times a day. I love myself. I believe in myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm a genius. During my prayers, I say that 7 times. And I've been saying that since 2019.
Say it again.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of myself.
I'm a genius.
I'm a genius. Ooh, I love it, man.
It was a gentleman that came into the prisons back in like 2009, 2010 at Ross in Marion that taught us that and gave us a card and said, start saying that every day. And so that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Affirmations are beautiful.
Yep. We call that the Tyro Declaration or the Tyro Pledge, right, guys? Somebody else give me something. Chris, give me something that you practice every day that you know that holds you accountable. A discipline.
I would have to say, basically, like mindfulness. Just taking a pause out of your day and really thinking about how that day has progressed, what it looks like compared to when you woke up in the morning, and how you want it to end.
Oh, come on, that's
And
good.
that way you choose, from there, like, okay, I'm fine with the conversations that I've had and how they've ended.
So let's say you, in that moment of time that you're thinking about it and say, you know what, that's not going the way I wanted to do. Do you pivot? Do you try to correct it? What do you do before the day's out? If it wasn't going, you know what, I didn't like the way this day was going, so I need to rectify it before I end the day. Or do you wait till the next day? How do you?
That's circumstantial, but
Okay.
usually I'll try to rectify it in a timely manner.
Yeah.
If not, I would definitely put it into play to get it resolved as quick as possible.
Yeah. Even
But-
with yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
love that.
first and foremost, I give it to God.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else?
Yeah, one thing that, and not a daily, but definitely something that I started doing while incarcerated is fasting. Man, I can't tell you you talked about the temptations and the various things. I believe that fasting for not just spiritual fast, but also fast for discipline's sake. That's something that I did that I never really did a lot of before, and I definitely do up until this point is fasting and just different levels. I've gone as far as giving up red meat for a year. I think 2 years was the longest that I did. I gave up meat, and so yeah, just finding various ways to I always feel like I got to make sure that I'm still in control or under control. Rather.
Ooh, I like that. Under control.
Yeah, still making sure that I'm under control. And so yeah, definitely fasting. And if I feel like if I feel like anything is out of order or I'm out in disarray, best believe a fast is coming because got to stay under control.
That's good word. That's good word. Anybody else?
So with me, mine was just being alert and aware of the situation that I was in, and never forgetting about what happened in the past. And every day moving forward, I knew that I had to. Every step was to better myself, and so I read a lot of books, and that's really what got me to the point where I'm at now, because I had to find something real, something with some purpose, to install in my life, and that was it. And from that point on, I kept moving forward, and knowing that it was something bigger and better for me, and that's what really got me through. Just reading and understanding being aware of my surroundings, and knowing that one day something better was waiting for me.
Yeah,
and that was pretty much it.
Okay.
And for me, since the Lord found me and I started giving myself to the Lord, I take a little bit of a scripture every day and marinate on it for a day or so. Like right now, I'm working my way through Matthew, the Sermon on the Mount, and it's talking about blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going through all those, and I'm trying to stay humble. And the one that really drives me crazy a little bit is blessed are the persecuted, because that one seems a little bit harsh.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm working my way through it. I see things through, like I asked God for new eyes, so I see things a lot different than I used to, for sure. Even the scriptures, like they make more sense to me now. So that's what I do. And I do the self-talk thing. It's so loud at that factory. I'll be yelling at myself all day, like, you're the man, you're the best, you're doing this, you own this machine.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
But it does help.
good.
It makes you feel better. Even when I text Dan, I'm like, you're beautiful, brother, because of the thing we went to. So
And those self-affirmations, the Tyros, we tell ourselves, I am, the great I ams that we have in the declaration. And it's important because if you don't know your worth, then nobody else will know your worth. And we teach that in Tyro. how do you position yourself in a place where you can even be a blessing to others? If you're not a blessing to yourself, you can't give something to somebody that you don't have.
Right.
We can pretend. Now, all of us know what it means to mush fake,
Right.
to be a pretender. We know
Right.
how to be a fake in this
Been
world.
there. Yeah.
But when you become the real McCoy and you're authentic with yourself, right? And then you're able to pour that into others, that what you give is real.
Right.
Because I don't know if you've ever had, we'll just take this example. I've never had a fake meat. I've never experienced fake meat that they sell now. I don't know what it's called.
Like a
Soy
Burger
or
King,
something.
plant-based.
Yeah, plant-based.
Plant-based,
Fake meat.
yeah.
They're trying to convince you this tastes just like a real beef, right?
Right,
Some
right.
people like it, some people don't. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying, but that's not the real McCoy. That's not the real deal. So we know how to be a counterfeit. Oh man, but we got to know what the real McCoy looks like.
Because there's so many counterfeits, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can all be chameleons.
Right.
Come on, man. We know how to manipulate. We know how to do all those things. But when you understand the greatness that's in each and every one of you, that you are the real deal, you are the real McCoy, people will gravitate towards that because it's pure, it's holy, and it's honorable, and it's right.
Right.
It's right.
It's like kind of like when I got in trouble in Grafton, it was because I was being fake to God, and He showed me that it's either all or nothing. You can't serve two masters. It's either you or Him, and that's it. You know.
And it comes a time where like you can't keep faking, you know.
Right.
Keep
I'm
faking.
You
thankful
can't keep
for my
faking
lessons.
because you're gonna keep bumping your head.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have bandages all on your head. You know.
I'll tell you this: faking has real consequences.
It does.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dion.
Just one thing, just to add to that. I had spoke on this a little to you a couple days ago. Ignorance and intellect are opposing; they go against each other. So fake and real is going to be opposing. You're not going to be one to be around one another. I said I created an analogy some years back. I said some of us are like thumbs amongst the fingers. No matter how much we try to fit in, we just don't. But realizing that we're still a part of the hand, we need each other. But I'm cool being different today. I always wanted to fit in. Then I just realized I just don't. I'm somebody that's just different. And so now I don't want to be around the drinking, the bull. I don't want to be around. I'd rather be at home.
Yep.
Safe. And it's I think it's just a beautiful thing when you're looking at mirror and you're living a Tyro when no one's around.
Yeah.
That's genuine.
That's integrity. That's a good word. You know, Dan shared with me once for our kids, and we're raising our children up, that they have one job to do when they leave the house. And we have to tell our sons and daughters this, that you have one job, and that's to come home. Us as men, we have one job. We don't have to be a hero. We don't have to try to save the world like that. If there's something going on, our job is to what? Come home. But when you're involved in the mix and in the mess and you go to the clubs and you do all that, you might not what?
Come on.
You might not come home. We have one job now. And when Dan shared that with me a while back, man, I've been practicing that and instilling that in people I've met. I said, look, you got one job to do, Dad. You know, you're going to work at the factory all day, and then you think you can pull over and stop at the club, cash your check, have a couple of drinks. No, man, you got one job. What's that? Come home. Because if you pull over, you stop. We don't know. You might not.
Anything can happen.
Might not come home.
You know, the one thing I did on the inside that was probably one of the greatest things God revealed to me was
Steroids.
I always get fitness
I used to
jokes.
work out with you.
So
Please help.
What's he talking
what I
about,
used to
Chris?
do was trying to understand how prison was an advantage and not a disadvantage. And how I compared it to society, and how when I would get on that phone with friends and family, and we were just talking about people being fake or people having so much going on in their lives, that when we call them, they're dumping emotionally on us. of the struggles that they go through. But we're inside getting 24/7 the opportunity to work and develop ourselves to be the Tyros and the men of honor that we are today.
Yeah.
And that's the advantage of going through. Prison is just a process. You're paying your debt to society.
Yes.
You're going through that process. And in the midst of that, we have refined ourselves.
We
with the
don't
Tyro
stay,
material.
we don't become bitter. What do we become?
Better.
We become better. And that is so true. You know, people would say, man, they would come to visit, right? And they would be like, why are you so happy? Why are you so free? You're in prison. I'm out here, right? Well, because I'm born again.
Yeah.
You know, I have a whole new understanding. I'm not fighting this experience anymore. I'm embracing it because I know the quicker I can embrace this lesson, the quicker I can graduate because I don't want to be held back anymore.
Right.
I got held back when I was in school, not because I didn't do the work, but I didn't want to do it.
Right.
Right? And I know in life that's how it works. If you don't get the lessons you're supposed to get in life,
Repeat.
you repeat, man. Repeat itself. Any other comments? You guys, let's just open it up, man. Tell me something. Tell the audience something. What do you guys been home now? Dan, how long you been home? 13 years now?
It'll be 13 years next week.
So you're a family man now. Tell us about that.
100% family man. So my understanding is that amongst all the places that people will this will be shared, it'll be shared across institutions. And so one thing, my encouragement is that men that are preparing to come home, look around, because I know I in doing my time, I interacted with guys that were doing life and that were never coming home, and understand that you're getting to leave that world behind. Take those lessons out with you, because I've seen it. I'm sure we've all seen it. A person who got the chance to come home and they squandered it. And they came home for the last time. And the worst thing I believe that you can do is squander the opportunity. I tell guys when I see them, I said, I hope you love it. I hope you love it. When I see them inside, when in them classrooms, I look at them, I said, I hope you love it. Because if you don't love it, then you stop living it. If you don't love it, you better stop living it. And so my encouragement is just really, really just take advantage of seeing what your future is if you don't change. If you don't change, then I hope you love it. And if you hate it, then you gotta hate the version of you that created it.
Yep.
And so
good word.
That's
Dan.
what I believe.
Good word. Good word. Anybody else? Give me something. Go ahead, Dion.
I would definitely love to say, especially to people that are in prison, women, men, children. Yeah. Before I ever got free or became free physically, I became free mentally. I heard a statistic that said 86% of the people that reoffend are the ones that didn't take educational programming in prison. And the 14% that do are the ones that did. And so I feel like a second chance isn't walking out of the front door of a prison. To be worthy of a second chance is a process of getting this person ready so that I can be the best man, the best friend, the best son, the best parent once I'm out here. All that is an opportunity to walk out that door, to have a second chance to be a parent to your children who you've been away from for years, to work at a job and they rely upon you, to be given an opportunity to walk into a family member's house that never trusted you. That's a second chance. And so for me, I believe we need to work on self while we're in prison, mentally and physically, before we ever step out here to say, hey, I'm worthy of a second chance, and watch what I do after you give it to me. Because I don't want people just giving me stuff as if I'm entitled to it. I should have to earn that. We were in prison with a free will. We could have jumped the fence. We chose not to because the consequence is way too much. What if I make the consequences way too much to go to that bar, to that club, to be around them other individuals I used to be around? It costs too much. So I use activating event, beliefs, and consequences before I make decisions. I didn't make a mistake. I made a conscious decision to. And now,
I love what you said. One of the things that we teach in Tyro, and if you take our when we do marriage events and things of that, work with couples, is if what I'm about to do dishonors me, I don't do it. If what I'm about to do dishonors my wife, I don't do it. If what I'm about to do dishonors the us in the relationship, I don't do it. And I think if more men and women practice that discipline, ask that question, man, it would save so much heartache and pain, right?
For sure.
You know, pain and suffering are our greatest teachers. And all of us have been through levels of pain that we didn't even discuss because we're running out of time. And there's things that you experienced. I want you to share.
I want to say
Go
one
ahead.
thing. This is my 5th day being free.
Come on.
Right. And words cannot express all the blessings that I have been receiving. But what I want to say for the people that's locked up is that I just want to ask you or just tell you not to lose hope, that if you really want something and you work hard for it, it's going to happen for you. So don't never give up. For the guys that's doing life, because I had life. I was facing the death penalty. Now look where I'm at right now, because I never lost hope. So for the guys that's incarcerated, that got a lot of time, just keep walking the walk, and whatever you want, it will happen for you. Just believe, just have faith, and it will happen.
Nathan, any final words?
Yeah, I say look at your perspective on life. Don't look at it as a punishment. Look at it as an opportunity, a life opportunity while you're in there. And don't lose hope. There's always hope.
Yeah.
And take it as a life lessons, not a life sentence. And just encourage each other. And we're here for you too.
That's good.
And God is great.
That's
so
good.
find your God.
That part.
Yeah.
Chris, any final words?
Yeah. Just calculating all the amount of time we did up together here at this table is 93 years. 93 years of wisdom, going through that refining process, the experiences that we've been through, everything that we've seen, all of the education that we've had. And I just want to say to the men and the women that are incarcerated is that there is people out here that are ready to help you. If you just take the first step and make the decision to help yourself first.
Good word.
Yep.
Good word. Anybody, Dan, last word. You good?
I am a Tyro.
I am a Tyro.
That's it.
You know, if I could just wrap this up, we are all on this continuous improvement plan. To whom much is given, much is required. But if you're faithful in the little things, you will be faithful in the big things. You know, we've all learned to stop and smell the roses, stop and enjoy the journey. Me, it's not about the destination. It's all about the journey.
Right.
It's all about the journey. And I love the journey that I'm on. And I love the fact that I am part of each and every one of your lives. And it's not by coincidence we're around this table. It's not by chance. It was ordained for such a time as this to be an example of what freedom looks like. Freedom emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and now physically. Because those 3 first pillars had to happen before we could be free physically. Because we were locked up. Those first 3, we were locked up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually before we were locked up physically. So you hear what I'm telling you? Those other 3 had to happen first before the physical freedom came. And now we've embraced all 4 pillars and we stand firm on those principles to not take it for granted ever, ever again. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of your journey. I do hope you took some notes and were able to be inspired and impacted by what was said today.
My name is Nate Florick, and I am a Tyro.
My name is Toby Brown, and I'm a Tyro.
My name is Dion Lucky Evans, and I am a Tyro.
My name is Christopher Sarton, and I definitely am a Tyro.
My name is Dan the Man Williams, and I am a Tyro.
Hey, my name is Ron Tijerina, and I am a Tyro. And always remember, until next time, that we are rooting for you.